This is welcome news that inflation hasn't risen as expected. What we are still seeing in these numbers is general inflationary pressure from the war in Iran. We've consistently called for de-escalation, and the news about peace talks is very welcome. What we need to see now is inflation returning to target at 2%, and we need to continue to make every effort, as we are doing, to protect households and to try and lower the cost of living.
Thank you, Lucy. So inflation's remaining at 2.8%. How do you feel about that figure?
This is welcome news that inflation hasn't risen as expected. What we are still seeing in these numbers is general inflationary pressure from the war in Iran. We've consistently called for de-escalation, and the news about peace talks is very welcome. What we need to see now is inflation returning to target at 2%, and we need to continue to make every effort, as we are doing, to protect households and to try and lower the cost of living.
John Healey's been really clear yesterday that you need to find extra money for the investment plan for defence. Will you be finding that money?
Look, John is a fantastic colleague, and I was really sorry to see him step down from government. I'm from a service family. I grew up in military communities, and I am completely convinced of the need to keep this country safe and to ensure that the men and women, the incredible men and women that protect our country and serve in our armed forces, have the kit and the capability that they need. And the Prime Minister's been very clear that the Defence Investment Plan will be published before the NATO summits in July. That is exactly what we'll do.
The thing is like, obviously people need clarity. Chief Defence Staff have said yesterday that without money we're less equipped to defend themselves. What makes the Treasury think that they know better than military personnel about how much we need to defend ourselves?
The Defence Investment Plan is clearly being worked upon as a cross-government issue. The Prime Minister has been very clear we will deliver that plan before the NATO summit in July. It's going to ensure that our armed forces, the incredible men and women that keep this country safe, have the kit and the capability that they need. That's exactly what it's going to do.
Look, it's disappointing that inflation is remaining stubbornly high, but the real worry for me, and it's a bit technical, but what's called the producer price inflation, the rate of cost increases that our businesses are seeing, is really high, nearly 9%. Sooner or later, that's going to end up either in our shopping baskets or in job losses or firm closures. A lot of that is on this government, who've pushed up the cost of employing people, pushed up business rates, and put more red tape on businesses. Look, I don't think it's good news when inflation's nearly 3%, but growth is less than 1%. That means we are getting poorer in real terms. That's not a good thing for the UK economy. We need more growth, and what we don't need is the Chancellor piling more costs onto households. It's always good if food costs are low, but as I said, one of the issues in today's figures is what's happening to producers, to businesses, and sooner or later those will end up in either higher costs for customers or in job losses. I mean, shots being fired by a Russian destroyer in the Channel is a salutary reminder about the seriousness with which everyone should be approaching the Defence Investment Plan. It isn't tenable for the Chancellor to continue to put her fingers in her ears, to refuse to properly fund that. And of course, the reason why she can't is because she knows her Labour backbenchers won't make the tough choices on welfare that we need. Our welfare budget is many times the size of the defence budget and growing fast. We need tough choices on that, but Labour MPs simply won't make them. Conservatives have been very clear how we would fund a growing defence budget. That starts with welfare reform, taking money away from those on Benefit Street and putting that into the defence of our nation, the first duty of government, cutting back the costs of Whitehall, and yes, getting Britain growing again, allowing businesses to grow, relieving some of the burdens on them.